Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, All Things Middle-earth here with a video looking at the gear, how you upgrade gear in this game, specifically looking at R10 items, and if some changes need to be made to make the gaming experience with Rise to War a little bit better. So stay tuned, we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. Before we get started, I do want to give Chisgol a shout out because he posted a video on his reasons for why he's kind of stepped away from the game. He's got some other stuff going on. He's busy, but also brought up some concerns or just conversation about the item system in the Rise to War and how when you upgrade items, you kind of feel penalized for that because you're getting rid of items that you have. So a lot of people end up just not upgrading stuff or just really having that worry every time they want to do stuff that they're getting rid of something good or what they're using is not going to be as good. And so it just creates like an uncomfortable experience when dealing with gear in the Rise to War. So I'm going to link his video up in the top right. He did a good job explaining through the actual human brain psychological side, which I thought was very interesting because I know exactly what feeling he's talking about when he's describing it, but I didn't have a word for it. So it was very entertaining to hear the explanation where I was like, oh yeah, that's what that's called. Yeah, I deal with that all the time. Although I'm probably more crazy than the usual player because I love to try different things. So I'm pretty quick to put in 2 other pieces of gear. But now looking back, my account is in a really rough spot. Not really rough. It's great. If you're if you're free to play, you're like, man, shut up. Your account is, but the stuff that I've actually gotten rid of to try other things has really left my account in a worse state than it could be in. So I did want to have a conversation today about R10 items, and it kind of relates to this gear conversation that Chisgol started, so I wanted to continue that. And I'd love to hear what you all think in the comments down below. Maybe if there are enough comments or ideas or things that we could do a part 2 where we do look at some actual solutions or really fleshed out, presented ideas. But again, if you are not aware, for the R10 items, you are not able to get gold items that you've used to strengthen the R10 items out of them. So if I go to took it off a Dwalin, it's not equipped at all. If I go to another item, another weapon, the R10 twin axes, it's not here right now. So it's not usable to strengthen other items or to get items out of it. So when I put my gold items into an R10 item, I am actually, as the game stands right now, I am actually losing them. They're gone. And I think we've gotten so used to the idea of worn out items that maybe part of me thinks that just getting a worn out item back would be good. But on the other hand, it just seems weird, and it seems like we're being penalized just for upgrading our gear. Again, if you went through and added up how much gold gear I would have in these 2 things, you could scroll for a while on the amount of gold stuff that I have. And those are items that I pulled, whether by luck or used the wallet a little bit and just did pull after pull until I got stuff. Those are items that I unlocked and got. So it seems strange that to upgrade other items, I have to lose those. They're gone forever. It's not just while you're using them inside that one. It just seems strange. So I feel like at the very least, I would love to be able to get worn out items back. But at the same time, too, if I decide that I want to use another commander, or I get a better commander, or I get my favorite commander, it does kind of stink. It really stinks that I can't get back any of the dozens of gold items. See what modifiers I had, see what stats, see what whatever. They're stuck in here, and at the best for regular gold items, it's just worn out equipment back. So I think it's not the best system, and again, it's not a comfortable thing. That's why I made a video upgrading this all the way, and that's why all the comments were just the video made people sick because I kind of full sent, and there was some funniness to it. It was kind of a comical thing because of how extreme it was. But the reason it bothered people so much is because they're watching someone just dump gold item after gold item into an item that at this point they are locked into forever. And that's my understanding. So again, I made that choice, so I'm going to deal with it. I'm not saying that I did this and I really regret it. I've had fun with it. But at the end of the day, the amount of items I put in there, if you could figure out a dollar amount, even, the percentage chance of getting a gold per Matham per whatever, someone's probably done that math. You could really see that there's this is a pretty penny right here that is now only able to be used in a really specific, area of the game. And again, I'm playing non-role play, so we're playing good this season. Gonna play evil next season. I may not want to use my Dwalin. He's R13. I've really enjoyed him, but if I choose to, it's a game. If I choose that I don't want to play with Dwalin anymore, I'm just gonna have the twin axes with a ridiculous amount of gold gear inside them sitting on the bench doing nothing. And to me, that is where the problem comes in, where you start to feel like to be honest, as a spender, for me, it makes me not want to spend anymore. And again, my choice to go into it, so you can say what you will. Maybe you're just going to comment and say, hey, well, you shouldn't have done that. And maybe you're right, but it stinks that it's a feature in the game in the first place to happen, because, again, if I choose not to use Dwalin, I think my account is going to be penalized for that. It feels like I'm taking it, instead of just saying, okay, I'm not going to do R10 items. But to me, if they want people to spend money to invest in new commanders, to try out the brand new commanders they released, to try out the new gear, I don't think it'd be the end of the world to allow us to be able to get gear back in some form, because you'll still need to get respect up on those commanders. If a new commander comes out, or you find one that you really enjoy using and you want to get their R10 item, you still have to pay a lot to get those respect items. So it's not like this just means that spending is going to cease. I could see actually there being some benefits and some increase. If I got all the items back from my twin axes, I could go, you know what, I want to get Merry and Pippin's next. So I'm going to open 150 chests to get Merry and Pippin to R10, and then I'm going to strengthen that into that. So in a way, I'm spending money that I wouldn't have. Maybe that's just my perspective. So again, I'd love to hear what people think of that. But I do think the R10 structure in this game is pretty messed up. Since it came out, I've not been happy with it. I've been pretty clear about that. They were very vague in season 1 about what it would look like, and then they were like, oh, by the way, like, this is not only just going to be like quests you unlock, you're going to need this mithril, and it's really just something you got to pay for. But again, you have these iconic characters you really enjoy, and again, you're looking at Gandalf the White, and like, of course, who wouldn't want to run Glamdring with Gandalf the White if they could? That'd be amazing. But you got to pay up for it. So I get it. I get the reality of it. I'm a spender, so I understand. But I think we got to look at it and say, is this something long-term that's going to continue affecting the game in a negative way? Other than those that want to and do whale out just, nonstop, and it's not really an issue because they have kind of everything. Is there a point where we need to kind of ask for adjustment here? And what does that look like for an R10 item? Is that just a gem cost, 1,000 gems, and you can get at least worn out items back? Can you get mithril back? I don't know how it works. Again, I feel like if you've paid your mithril and you've unlocked it, I think you'll probably keep that forever just as an item. I don't like the refinements mithril either. So again, I don't know if you could get that mithril back for refinement. I don't know what the best answer is, but I would love to hear down below what everyone thinks. If you think there are ways to improve this without breaking the game, because obviously they have to look at the balance of the game and try and figure out things that work within that. Again, for the twin axes, the things that really stink is the battle dance did not perform as it was listed here. So for a long time, you'd look at reports with Dwalin, and it would say that the battle dance was affecting damage on every single attack that Dwalin did. And it may have been something I misunderstood more, but it sounds like it was an error in the reports. So that wasn't actually being done. It was just an error in the reports, and the effect was correct. But it was kind of confusing. It was just a reply from a support thing. It's not something that got super addressed. So I went into the twin axes thinking, this is pretty good. This affects all damage. It's only 20%, but it affects all damage, to now it actually only being normal damage. So there was kind of an issue with that too, that I feel like it would be nice if that was addressed. But I know I'm going to be more irritated by it because I invested in it, so I get that. But at the same time, if an effect changes or was working one way and now changed, I think that's something that should also be considered as, hey, if this is how it was performing, if they're looking at their reports and saying, oh, this is what this does, because sometimes the language that they use on the items is confusing. So you look and you say, okay, I can see this is what's happening in the report. That's good. I like that. We're going to go into that now. But then that changes. To me, that's kind of a problem. So again, whether it's gems you pay to get out, maybe there's a blacksmith feature added, kind of like the apothecary, where you could take an item in, and I could put in my Dwalin's axes, or I could put in my reckoning that I have strengthened 4 times or whatever, and get items back that way without having to strengthen them into something else and get rid of that item, and even possibly getting back the actual items that you've had before, because I've got a lot of good stuff that I want to try different things. I want to play different factions. They want to keep adding new commanders. Great, like, add new commanders, but don't make it such a penalty for us to try and gear them up, because that's half the reason I don't try new commanders, is because I just don't have the gear to do it, and I don't want to whale out a bunch more on respect for a commander that may or may not be good, to then try and find gear for them that's going to work. It's just a pain sometimes. So again, wanted to start the conversation, or continue the conversation rather. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about the gear issue in the Rice War. Is there a gear issue? Is there not a gear issue? Is this just a whales problem that we need to get over? I don't think so. I think it affects everybody. I think even if you're free to play, you might have the same problem, but you're looking at your purples more and saying, yeah, like I don't want to get rid of good effect on my purples and be, you know, penalized for not understanding every aspect of the game. But let me know if you think it's a problem, and if you have solutions or ideas. I'd love to hear about them. I'd love to have some conversations in the comments below. And like I said, maybe we'll get enough ideas that we put really a fleshed out video together that's like some very good ideas of actual improvements that wouldn't be necessarily game breaking, and see if we can get some attention on it. So again, that's going to do it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.